Do you feel like you're running on empty, going through the motions but feeling nothing inside? That sense of numbness, disconnection, and emotional exhaustion isn't just stress. It's burnout, and it's silently destroying your well-being. Most people ignore it until their body or mind forces them to stop. But here's the truth. By the time you realize how bad it is, it might already be too late. This is your wake-up call to recognize the signs, take back control, and rebuild your energy before burnout steals more than just your sleep. It can steal your life. Today, we will talk about burnout and numb. This is your wake-up call before it's too late. So before we start, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. 1. You're not just tired, you're spiritually exhausted. Burnout isn't just about being physically or mentally tired. It's the silent erosion of your soul. When you're burned out, you're not just worn down, you're hollowed out. You no longer feel joy, passion, or even frustration. You just exist. That numbness is your body's last resort defense mechanism. You've been running on empty for so long that your mind has stopped sending warning signals. What's dangerous is how normalized this has become. People walk through life on autopilot, brushing off exhaustion as a side effect of ambition. But this isn't normal. Feeling emotionally numb, detached, or indifferent is your spirit's way of screaming for help. If you've lost interest in the things you used to love, dread waking up, or feel disconnected from your own life, you're not lazy or weak, you're depleted. And if you ignore this, the cost won't just be burnout, it'll be breakdown. Recognizing this state for what is might be the first step back toward feeling alive again. 2. Modern life is a factory for burnout. Burnout is not a personal failure. It's a predictable result of the world we live in. The system is built to keep you grinding. You're expected to work like a machine, be available 24/7, chase constant productivity, and somehow still find time to self-care. That's a trap. The line between work and life has been erased, especially with smartphones and remote work. Rest has become a luxury instead of a right. Society glorifies hustle culture and treats rest as laziness. It teaches you to wear stress like a badge of honor. Even when you're sick or grieving, you're encouraged to power through. Eventually, your nervous system can't take it. What starts as fatigue becomes anxiety, irritability, depression, and emotional detachment. You're not weak for burning out, you're human in a system that was never designed with human well-being in mind. The real rebellion is not pushing harder, it's pausing, reassessing, and reclaiming your energy before the system drains it entirely. 3. Numbness is not peace, it's a survival response. There's a difference between being calm and being numb. Numbness isn't healing, it's hiding. When you're emotionally numb, you're not at peace. You just shut down enough feelings that nothing gets through. Not joy, not sadness, not even love. It might seem easier to stay in that numb space, especially if you've been hurt, overwhelmed, or disappointed again and again. But numbness doesn't protect you. It disconnects you from life. The longer you stay there, the harder it is to remember who you were before everything started to hurt. Your body learns to function in this mode, but it's survival, not living. And there's a cost. Relationships start to suffer. Your creativity dries up. You start going through the motions in every area of life. If you feel like you're just existing, this is your wake-up call. The goal is not to feel less. It's to feel safe enough to feel again. 4. Why pushing through makes things worse. One of the biggest lies burnout tells you is, you don't have time to stop. So you keep going. You silence your pain with caffeine, deadlines, and distractions. But the more you push, the more damage you do. Burnout is like driving a car with no oil. You might still be moving, but the engine is tearing itself apart. Most people only stop when the crash comes, when they break down mentally, emotionally, or physically. But by then, it's not just exhaustion, it's trauma. Constantly ignoring your body's warning signs leads to deeper problems: panic attacks, autoimmune issues, chronic fatigue, depression. The truth is, healing takes longer when you wait too long to begin. If you're already hearing the whispers that something's off, that you're not okay, listen now. You don't need permission to rest. You need the courage to stop before your body forces you to. 5. The lie of "I'm fine" is killing you slowly. How many times a week do you say, "I'm fine," when you're not? Burnout convinces you to minimize your pain. You tell yourself it's not that bad. You compare your suffering to others and feel guilty for complaining. You pretend. And each time you pretend, you push the pain a little deeper. But unspoken pain doesn't disappear, it compounds. Saying "I'm fine" becomes a mask you wear until even you forget what's underneath. This constant emotional suppression numbs your ability to connect with yourself and others. You can't heal from what you don't acknowledge. Owning your truth, that you're not fine, that you're burned out, that you're barely holding it together, isn't weakness. It's the beginning of freedom. The strongest thing you can say right now is, "I'm not okay, and I need help. The moment you stop faking fine is the moment real healing begins. 6. Burnout doesn't just hurt you, it affects everyone around you. You may think you're handling your burnout alone, but its effects ripple out. Your relationships suffer when you're numb. You stop being fully present with your partner, your friends, your kids. Emotional availability disappears. You withdraw, snap easily, or become indifferent, not because you don't care, but because you can't feel. At work, you go from enthusiastic to robotic. Creativity fades. Everything feels like a chore. And the guilt compounds. You beat yourself up for being distant, but the truth is, you're running on fumes. Burnout isolates you, not just emotionally, but socially. People around you may not even know how bad things are because you're too exhausted to explain. That's why this is your wake-up call, not just for your sake, but for the people who love and rely on you. Healing your burnout isn't selfish. It's an act of love for yourself and those around you. 7. How to begin your way back to yourself. Healing from burnout isn't about taking a weekend off. It requires deep, intentional change. Start by slowing down and listening to your body. Rest is not a reward, it's a requirement. Reconnect with your breath, your body, your feelings. Journaling, therapy, time in nature, and even doing nothing can be radical acts of healing. You don't need a 10-step plan, you need space. Start saying no to what drains you. Set boundaries without guilt. Stop tying your worth to your productivity. Begin doing small things that bring you peace, not performance. Reconnect with activities that once made you feel alive, not because they're useful, but because they feed your soul. It's not about getting back to the person you were, it's about becoming someone new, softer, wiser, and more in tune with your own needs. Recovery is not linear, but it is possible. Start small. Start now. 8. This is your sign. Don't wait any longer. If you're reading this and recognizing yourself in these words, this is your wake-up call. You don't have to wait until you break down completely. You don't need permission to rest. You don't need to earn your healing. The world will keep spinning, even if you stop for a while. Your worth isn't measured by how much you do or how well you cope. You're worthy of rest, a piece of joy, simply because you exist. Burnout doesn't have to be the end of your story. It can be the beginning of your transformation. But only if you listen to the signs, stop ignoring the pain, and take that first brave step toward recovery. You've been strong for too long. Now it's time to be gentle. Let this be the moment you stop surviving and start living again. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please give it the thumbs up. Leave a comment and click the button to subscribe.